Imagine a world where work isn't just work, it's a movement. A place where your office isn't just a desk, but a sacred space of collaboration, innovation, and a higher purpose. Now, imagine being told that by joining this movement, you are changing the world. That's the promise Adam Neumann sold to thousands of employees, investors, and entrepreneurs. But behind the sleek branding, free-flowing kombucha, and wild parties lay something far more sinister, a cult-like empire built on illusions. This is the story of how WeWork rose to power, worshipped a false prophet, and ultimately came crashing down in one of the most dramatic collapses in startup history. In 2010, a charismatic Israeli entrepreneur named Adam Neumann co-founded WeWork, a company promising to revolutionize office spaces. The idea was simple: shared workspaces for startups and freelancers, infused with a sense of community. It wasn't just about renting desks, it was about changing the way people worked and lived. Neumann, an eccentric and ambitious leader, sold the dream with religious zeal. He didn't just want WeWork to be a company, he wanted it to be a movement. He spoke of elevating the world's consciousness and turning WeWork into a capitalist kibbutz. Employees and investors alike were drawn in by his boundless enthusiasm, rock-star energy, and grandiose vision. As WeWork expanded, so did Neumann's personality cult. He fostered a messianic image, convincing employees and investors that they weren't just building an office rental company. They were creating a utopia. The company's internal culture began to resemble a religious movement more than a business. Employees were expected to work insane hours, attend mandatory events, and chant company slogans. Neumann's wife, Rebecca, played a key role in shaping the company's philosophy. A former aspiring actress and cousin of Gwyneth Paltrow, she pushed New Age spirituality into the company, emphasizing WeWork's higher purpose. Employees were fired for not aligning with this ethos. "Do you believe?" became an unofficial mantra within WeWork, reinforcing Neumann's leadership as something divine. Those who questioned the vision were sidelined or removed. By 2010, WeWork was expanding at an insane pace, securing billions from investors, most notably Japan's SoftBank. At its peak, the company was valued at $47 billion. However, WeWork was burning through cash at an alarming rate, prioritizing growth over sustainability. Neumann's bizarre behavior only escalated. He reportedly walked around the office barefoot, threw extravagant parties, and enforced a company-wide ban on meat. He even trademarked the word "we" and sold it to his own company for $5.9 million, pocketing the money himself. But the most shocking move was the introduction of "We Live and We Grow," Neumann's attempt to expand WeWork beyond co-working into co-living and education. We Live was essentially a glorified dormitory for adults, pushing the cult-like atmosphere even further. Employees and members were encouraged to devote their entire lives to the WeWork community. In 2019, WeWork prepared for its much-anticipated IPO, which was expected to cement its status as a tech giant. However, the company's S-1 filing revealed terrifying financials and Neumann's reckless management style. The cracks in the empire were exposed. WeWork was losing $1.6 billion annually. Neumann controlled voting shares, making him virtually untouchable. His conflicts of interest, such as renting buildings he personally owned to WeWork, raised red flags. Investors balked, media scrutiny intensified, the IPO was pulled, and WeWork's valuation plummeted from $47 billion to near bankruptcy within weeks. With investors panicking, SoftBank stepped in, bailing out the company and forcing Neumann out. He left with a golden parachute of $1.7 billion, while thousands of employees lost their jobs. The messianic leader had failed. WeWork, once touted as the future of work, had become the poster child for startup excess and delusion. The cult of Adam Neumann crumbled, leaving behind disillusioned employees and investors. As the dust settled, former employees and investors began speaking out about the toxic work culture and financial mismanagement. Lawsuits piled up, ranging from wrongful termination claims to allegations of deceptive business practices. Many employees who had poured their lives into the company were left with worthless stock options and shattered illusions. The media further exposed the extent of the cult-like indoctrination, with ex-employees recounting bizarre rituals, unpaid overtime, and a near-religious devotion to Neumann's vision. Investors who had once believed in WeWork's promise now saw it for what it was, an extravagant illusion that had consumed billions before collapsing under its own weight. Following Neumann's departure, WeWork struggled to stay afloat. Leadership changed, costs were cut, and the company attempted to pivot back to its core business. Despite efforts to revive it, WeWork ultimately filed for bankruptcy in 2023, marking the final chapter in one of the most infamous corporate collapses in history. Today, WeWork serves as a cautionary tale of what happens when vision turns into delusion, when leadership becomes messianic, and when business turns into a cult. It wasn't just a failed startup, it was a failed belief system. Adam Neumann sold WeWork not as a company, but as a way of life. And like all cults, it thrived on blind faith, until reality caught up. The dream was grand, the vision intoxicating, but in the end it was nothing more than a beautifully packaged illusion. What do you think? Was WeWork just an overhyped startup, or was it truly a modern-day cult? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take. If you found this story intriguing, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most shocking business scandals. We uncover the truth behind corporate cults, tech disasters, and financial frauds. Don't miss out.